Hello everyone, welcome to the new 26 for today. RockHoof and a hard place. Funny title indeed. And very, very important because we get to see the rest of the Legends of Magic. Even though they call them the Pillars of Equestria, Legends of Magic sounds a lot more respectful and a lot more heroic. And the former owner of the Element of Royalty has been kinda not fitting in. He's struggle. He doesn't fit into his old village that's now become an archaeological site. And when he's kicked out of the village, he's given a job at Twilight School. It seems logical to teach equestrian defense? That's weird. Well, RockHoof makes quite an impression on the student body. Most notably, Yona is thinking some cross-species breeding at this point. If it were not a kids show, it would definitely be this train of thought. But she idolizes RockHoof, and more specifically, his storytelling ability. But as being the strongest pony in the world, he's pretty destructive. So Twilight and the other Harmony 6 and Starlight in this episode going to find him some new jobs, each with hilarious but negative results. So much so that even the rest of the pillars are brought in, and we get to see what they're up to. Miss Main is in the Crystal Empire as a crystal gardener, making some breathtaking designs. Subnimula is a motivational speaker. Shanti. If you're a fan of WWE, you will understand what the last Shanti was about. As far as Meadowbrook, she's reopened her clinic and expanded it big time. And Flash Magnus is part of the Royal Guard with his own troop, which is kind of awesome. He's got his troop more disciplined than Shining. That's a problem in my eyes. But all the former pillars drop very good advice, but it doesn't seem to work. So RockHoof, after even trying out with the Hippogriff, Nate decides no other choice but to get discorded. In other words, the same spell that turned Discord to stone that we discovered at the beginning of season 4 and broke at the beginning of season 2, RockHoof wants that treatment, thinking that he is a relic of an old age that doesn't quite fit in and would be better preserved in a museum untouched by time. Which gets to the moral of the story. RockHoof is living, literally, including the rest of the Legends of Magic, living pieces of history with plenty of stories to tell. And the historical importance is through telling those rather animated stories, and the only cool way that RockHoof does it, that the students learn and interest their history properly. So it's through story, through myth, through tall tales that often old cultures from thousands of years back retained our history, or at least their versions of it. It's about the importance of telling the stories of our lives, of our history, of the society at large, and trying to preserve every bit of it, no matter how we choose to preserve it. Learning from our history so we can learn more about society and culture, and try to bring that bit of that to ourselves, as well as the thrill and the mesmeration of the power of storytelling. This moral doesn't have a very individualist everyday meaning like most of the morals in MLP, but the moral here for RockHoof and Hard Place has a much broader societal meaning through its preservation of history and our need to do so. Like, for instance, how retro video gaming on one end is being preserved for profit, but on the other end, emulation sites are being shut down for systems that this is the only way we can get these games, or even some of the more rare games that are not as big and famous as the big names. Because of the shutdown of these emulation sites, those pieces of video game history are, like RockHoof thought, lost in time forever, never to be given back to the gamers that mattered to them, to have a second chance to make a generational impression. Not everything in this world gets modernized, and sometimes for even people that are trying to learn computers and DVRs like my mother and smartphones, sometimes adapting to new things can be very difficult, especially if you remember them as an older citizen as something else, like trying to ask your grandmother to adapt to email when she's written letters her whole life, or even the use of a computer itself, or the idea of satellite radio over regular radio, or even further back for some, radio to TV. Even people my age are having struggles adapting to social media norms and things like binge watching and streaming. It's often a struggle for me. So, in a way, I share some of RockHoof's trepidation, but preservation is important. Feeling wanted and fitting in even when you think there's no possible way. Finding the thing that even though you are a person from another time, another society, finding a way to adapt your knowledge, your history, and pass it on to the next generation. Who knows? Some might learn from it. Some might be inspired from it. Some might find their calling in life because of it. Preserving what society was, and well, really it's become easier thanks to social media. Preserving what society was, and even now to this point, what society is very important. And we need to forget about that. When you go to your newest museum, remember, what you see as artifacts and what you see as history, and what you see as tall tales of a time long since gone by was once very real. It was their society once upon a time. And they learned the history of their past. It's through looking through the window of the past that we may be motivated to find a better future. This episode is entertaining. It is funny. All the characters are well placed. The continuity and the connection to it is grand. Plus, seeing all the legends of magic and catching up with them connects back to Friendship University and ties up the loose threads. We even find out what happened to Stesian after the end of the season 7 finale. All in all, Equestria's pillars, heroes, the former elements of harmony, are all doing well. And this episode, just focusing on one of them, is yet another example of why season 8 might be, and, well, is the strongest season in 4 seasons. The back end of season 8 is much stronger than the front end of it. And this is yet another episode that proves it. A RockHoof in a Hard Place might have a weird and tough title, but it has an easy score to give. This gets yet another 6 out of 6. We are officially tied. One more 6 makes season 8, this season, statistically, the present, the greatest season ever in the history of this show. And here's the crazy thing. We've still got 5 episodes to go. So what's your feeling on a RockHoof in a Hard Place? Tell me down in the comment section below. And tell me some of your favorite tall tales and stories passed down from your family if you have them. Make sure to hit the bell and, do the sub thing. For me, this channel has been preservation of my history. And I'm just getting started. Until next week, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana. Thanks for watching.